Hi, hello. My name is Rachel and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, if you are returning though, hey, what's up? How's it going? Today, I am doing my February wrap up. This is going to be heavily romance books. I think I only read maybe one book that isn't a romance. Yes, I only read one book that isn't a romance. So if you are not a romance fan, this wrap up probably won't be for you. I was in the romance mood. I mean, with it being February and everything, I felt it. And so I wanted to read all the romance books. This month was kind of a fine month. I do have a new 5-star read. How many books did I even read this month? I read a total of 13 books this month. That's pretty good. That's pretty average for me, I want to say. With that, let's go ahead and get started. The first book that I read this month is Love on the Brain by Hazelwood, and I went into it knowing that I was probably going to like it, and I'm so glad because I did like it. I really enjoyed it. I think this book gets a lot of mixed reviews and some hate just because it's still women in STEM with a grumpy guy, and she's more of the sunshine. But I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't annoyed by the main girl character. B was fine. Like, I was totally fine with her. Same with Levi. Totally fine with him. I thought that he was cute and sweet. I gave it 4 stars just because it was just really fun for me. I had a good time. When it comes to romances, if I have a good time, I'm gonna rate it pretty decent. That's how my rating system goes with romances. It's completely different for like dark romances, completely different for literary fiction, completely different for fantasy. I have a very intricate rating system. If you want a video on that, let me know. But this one, I just had a lot of fun. Relationship, I thought it was really cute. Felt like it was very organic. I knew what was coming in it. I think that was like the thing that like I knew what it was going to be. It was very predictable, but that was okay just because it was well crafted. If you can write decently and you can write decent banter, I'm gonna like it because that just seems to be a really hard thing for romance authors to do. Hazelwood is just really good at that. I am now a fan of hers. I will forever be a fan of hers. I'll probably always pick up her books just because I really like her writing style. Yay! I was so happy. Love on the Brain, 4 stars. Let's go. My goal is to drink more water, and how I thought that I would do that is with a giant jug. So everyone, go drink some water right now. You hear that ice? ASMR. Next book that I read was A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy. A high school bully romance, I think was what it was supposed to be, but it wasn't even really that. I'll be honest, I did not like this book. I ended up giving it 1 star. Let me explain myself without being mean, because I don't want to be mean about this book because I know that people really like it, and I always feel a certain type of way when people are really mean to my favorite books. Let me just say, there are aspects in this, like illegal aspects in this, that I don't like the way it was presented. It would be different if it was presented in a way where like that was like the big crux terrible thing and it was treated with seriousness, but it was treated as like a subplot and then it like got resolved so quickly. I just don't feel like the gravity of the situation was really addressed. It was just kind of used as, I feel like, drama fodder, and it gave me the ick. Also, I don't like how the main girl character treated another character who was involved in it, victim blaming her a little bit. Didn't like the resolution with that other main girl with the illegal thing that was going on. The way that was just like sloughed over. Very traumatic, sad thing that happened to this girl, and yet she's being treated almost like a villain. I didn't like that at all. I understand why people like the relationship in here. I think it was cute. I think it was sweet when it got to that point of them liking each other. But the chemistry just wasn't enough for me. I didn't feel it like I'm sure other people felt it. And then I didn't like that the main bad thing that our main girl dealt with was misunderstanding, but also something that was so easily figured out. It was the dumbest third act drama when you had something so dramatic with this illegal thing that was going on, but that wasn't as big of a deal as this other thing. Unfortunately, I did not like this. I did not like it at all. I think if you want to go dark, go dark. Don't do this like light, using it as drama fodder and not taking it seriously, because it was a very serious issue. Something like it happened in my high school. So in my opinion, I don't like it when it's used as just like this weird subplot. I want to say that I actually had read something of Monica Murphy's before and I didn't like it. So I don't think that Monica Murphy is necessarily the author for me, and that's okay. We all have different tastes and that's beautiful. So the next book that I'm going to talk about was one that I read in my reading vlog. It is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. Her new book just came out that I just bought, so if that tells you anything. I gave it 3 stars, which for a romance really isn't that bad. It just means that it's forgettable. It was a good time, but I'm not going to remember it. It didn't change my life. It was fun to read. Definitely a good beach read. So if you're going to the beach, if you want something light and fun, I say go get this book. The banter was super cheesy. I decided to overlook that and not let it bother me. And so I more or less decided that I was going to just enjoy this book while I read it. And so that's what I ended up doing. It's a small town, grumpy sunshine, romance. The big drama at the end was so sudden that I was like, what is going on? That was kind of a lot. But as for the book as a whole, it was cute. I'm excited to read her next one. 3 stars. The next book that I read that was also in my reading vlog was The Bodyguard by Katherine. I ended up giving this one 3.5 stars. It surprised me how much I liked this one. This is the fake dating trope. It's between this superstar guy and this girl who is his bodyguard, and in order to hide that he is being protected from his family that he's visiting, they fake date. And it was really cute. I surprisingly enjoyed it. I really liked the relationship between, is her name Hannah? What's her name? Yeah, her name is Hannah. Between Hannah and Jack, I thought that they were very cute together. It's very centered around their relationship with each other. And so if you're wanting something with a bit more plot to it, probably wouldn't recommend this one. But if you're looking for something sweet, closed door romance, this would be a good one. I enjoyed it. It was fun. So, and then the last book that I read for the reading vlog was Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. If you saw my reading vlog, you know. I mean, you should know just from like all these annotations. I enjoyed this book. I ended up giving it 4 stars, not a full 5, just because there was a point at the end of the book that I did not like. It gave me the ick and it disappointed me. But the majority of the book I loved. I loved the writing style in this. It was a lot more deep, a lot more poetic, a lot more lyrical, and that's what I gravitate towards. And so you put that in with kind of a tropey romance, and it's very interesting. It's not something that I have ever read in the romance genre. It just added an extra layer to it that I think a lot of romances don't have. I loved Elliot. Elliot is my favorite ever. Macy was fine. I had a hard time connecting with her, but by the end, I understood her better. It made me feel a lot of things. There's lots of quotes in here that I love. If you are looking for kind of a deeper romance that is going to actually make you feel things and not necessarily numb the mind, this would be a really good one. The next book that I read is one that I saw on Instagram, and it's actually a debut novel for a new author, and the book is The Brightest Light of Sunshine by Lisina Coney. This is an age gap, grumpy sunshine. He's not that grumpy. It's more sunshine, if I'm being honest. It's with this guy who I believe is 30. His name is Knox, and he is a tattoo artist, and he takes care of his little sister. She's like 4 years old, and it is about Grace. the girl's ballet teacher. She is 22 and she is bubbly blonde. You know, when you see Knox and Grace together as a juxtaposition, it's one of those. Like that aesthetic. Grace had gone through some things in her past and Knox really helps her heal from that. You can tell that it is the first novel of this author, but it's a really good first attempt. I ended up giving it 3 stars just because I see a lot of potential with this author. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed their story. I thought that they were cute. And so if you are looking for a cute read that isn't going to get too deep, but is a fun time, I recommend this one. The next book that I read is my 5-star read of the month, and it is Georgie All Along by Kate Clayborn. This is I think another Grumpy Sunshine romance, but what I loved about this was I was reading it during a time where I really connected with Georgie. I still do. There's one line in here towards the very beginning, so it's not a spoiler, but she said something along the lines of like, I'm a 28-year-old returning to my hometown exactly the same way that I left it. And I'm just like, wow, I feel that deeply. I am going to relate, I think, a little bit too hard. I had just recently gotten some news in my life that was very disappointing, and so this really came at the perfect time. What I loved most about it was Georgie and Levi and really their relatability to me, just the things that they were going through. Like, I was surprised that I related to Levi as much as I did. His past is nothing like mine. Like, he is a town recluse. He used to be the town bad boy, got in trouble all the time, was part of this prestigious family, but they kind of disowned him, and so he's like on his own trying to make up for everything that he's done by trying to like stay within the confines of this box of I'm never going to do anything wrong, but people still like judged him harshly. It was so interesting. That need for control is something that I so relate to in Levi, but then Georgie and her like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure it out. Who am I? What is this? I related to as well. I loved that aspect of it. Romance though is really cute too. I love the dynamic between them. I love the chemistry between them. It is kind of insta-lovey. It was still fun. It was still fun to read. And the writing in it is good. It probably could have gone deeper, just from an objective standpoint. But from a personal standpoint, it's a 5 stars for me. So, Georgie All Along. Okay, the next 3 I'm actually going to put together. 2 of them I read on ebook, and then 1 of them I listened to, which let me tell you when I tell you about it. Oh my gosh. And it is the Chestnut Springs series. It's not a trilogy because it's still going, by Elsie Silver. First book, Flawless. The second book, Heartless. And the third book, Powerless. Flawless is an enemies to lovers. Also, Heartless is also an enemies to lovers, but it's like an age gap nanny and single dad romance. Okay, Clark, you're gonna have to move or lay down. And then Powerless is a childhood friends to lovers romance. I read Flawless first. I enjoyed it, gave it 3 stars. It was a nice, fluffy, contemporary small town read between a bullfighter and the person who is trying to revamp his reputation? Yeah, his reputation. It was good. It was fine. I thought it was sweet. It was fun while I was reading it. Will I forget about it? Probably. It's an uber popular book right now. And then the next book that I listened to was Heartless. And when I tell you, okay, I listened to it while I was on a road trip, a 12-hour road trip. And honestly, it was so fun. And I mean this in the sense that listening to a spicy romance and like hearing them say it, oh my gosh, I cringed. I just felt so uncomfortable. So honestly, I had thought about making it like a TikTok or a Instagram challenge. I still think it would be a really good challenge. Trying not to react while listening to like the spiciest parts of a book because it was impossible. I would listen to that along with another book as I was going, and so it really just like kept me awake because like I couldn't help but just like it was just a hilarious time, me just having these crazy reactions while I'm listening to it, which maybe that took away from the story, I don't know. I ended up giving it 3 stars. I did enjoy it. I don't typically like romances where kids are also involved. They're not really my favorite. I enjoyed it, like the story. I think maybe they are my favorite couple though. I like their story, I think, more than the others. And then the last book that I read is Powerless. It's probably my least favorite out of all of them, but it was cute. You know, it was still fine. Hockey player and a ballerina. I also gave it 3 stars. Kind of fine, forgettable, but cute to read. So anyways, the next book, the only book that isn't a romance that I read, is Becoming by Michelle Obama. So I listened to this one also on my trip. So it was very weird listening to a spicy romance and then listening to Michelle Obama speak truth. Very weird, but also wouldn't want to do it any other way. I so loved this book. I will say her story, if it happened to me in like my relationship with Barack, I probably would have divorced Barack, if I'm being honest. And it's not because Barack is a bad person, but because I wouldn't feel like we are giving the same in a family, and I need that from a partner. And so she had to carry a lot. I would not be able to. And it just shows, though, how powerful their relationship is. They're still like this amazing couple. And honestly, Michelle's now owning that family. Let's be honest. We haven't seen Barack in a long time. She is out. She is taking over this world. Do we have another Hillary on our hands? No, she hates politics. But I loved the background that we got of their time in the White House. I loved hearing about her childhood. I loved hearing about her college days. It was just so fascinating. I highly recommend that one if you've never read it or listened to it. I definitely recommend listening to it because Michelle just speaking to you is so nice. I think I ended up, I gave it 4 stars. When I rate a memoir or book, it has nothing to do with their actual story. It has more to do with like writing style. And in my mind, I felt like it was heavily edited to where she wasn't allowed to be as real as she wanted to be. It felt very politically correct, which, I mean, she has to do. So I understand. Is it fair that I'm docking her a point for that? I don't know. Probably not. But also, it's up to me. It's okay. Who am I? No one cares. So the next book that I read is You Had Me at Hola by Alexis Daria. This is another romance. It is between 2 soap opera stars. One is a telenovela star, Ashton, and then the other is Jasmine. Yes, Jasmine, who has done a lot of Hollywood soap operas, and so they're starring in the same show together. They're trying not to have a relationship, but they end up having a relationship. I really wanted to like this book, and there were some fun aspects to it, but I ended up only giving it a 2.5 stars. I did not like the way Ashton spoke to Jasmine at the end, and I don't think there was enough groveling. There were some very mean things said, and like there was not, like it was so quickly wrapped up. The ending just felt too rushed. I loved the diversity in here, and I loved that they included the episodes of the show. I thought that that was a really fun idea. As for like the relationship between them and what was going on in their personal lives, it just didn't hold my attention like I hoped it would. Unfortunately for me, it just wasn't as good of a read, but I think it's still fun. I think other people could differ from my opinion, and so I still think maybe give it a shot. Who knows, you might really like this. And then the last book that I read is Twisted Games by Anna Huang. I wasn't sure if I wanted to ever read this series because it is just everywhere. It's so hyped. Kind of like the Lauren Asher Dream Billionaires trilogy. I mean, I'm sure I'll read it at some point, but it's just everywhere right now. that it just feels oversaturated. I wasn't sure if I wanted to read this one, and so I decided I would just read the ones that I think would interest me the most. And so I didn't start with the first one. I've never read Twisted Love, and I've never read, I think, like Twisted Hate or something, the third one. I'm currently reading the fourth one. Finished Twisted Games though, and I liked it well enough. I think I was expecting more, but it just didn't give more. It just felt a little bit too surface for me. For as hyped as it is, I think if it didn't have as much hype, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. But I did enjoy Reese and Bridget's relationship. I thought that they were cute. I think Reese was very nice the whole time, even if he was a bit short with her in the beginning. I do like that it was over 4 or 5 years. It just wasn't as good as I was hoping. It didn't have the stakes that I thought that it was going to have. I thought that it was going to be a darker romance, and it wasn't. Not that that's a bad thing, not that it needs to be. I guess I just assumed from all of the stuff that I had seen about the series itself that it was going to be really dark, but it really wasn't. It was just sweet. It's like, okay, cute. Will I forget about it? Probably, but it was fun to read at the time, so that's why I'm reading the fourth book now. I probably won't read Twisted Love. I have no desire. I probably won't read the third one either. I don't even know what it's called. Overall, it was fine. It was fun. 3 stars. That's it. I mean, that's it. That's pretty good. I feel like I did pretty good this month. And none of them, I mean, no, I shouldn't say that. There were a few that I really didn't like. But for the most part, I had a good time. And so I think that makes it easier. If you want to see more in-depth reviews, you can go to my Instagram because I post reviews on there. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed. Stick around for my video tomorrow. It's fine. It's a good one. It's like the best video you will ever see in your life. So get ready for that. Let me know if you read any books this month that you really enjoyed, any 5 stars. Let me know. Always looking for recommendations. I will talk to you all again soon. Bye.